Yes, Honorable Bishop. The question has already been put to.
So, Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, with your permission, I'm replying to parliamentary question B/579, B/589, and B/615 together as they relate to more or less the same subject matter. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, my ministry provides financial assistance to patients requiring medical treatment not available in Mauritius as follows. Child Cancer Scheme with unlimited financial assistance to young patients up to the age of 25 years suffering from cancer. Pediatric Scheme with similar assistance to children up to the age of 25 years requiring treatment for other diseases. And financial assistance up to 1,300,000 rupees for treatment overseas to patients who cannot be treated locally, to all patients irrespective of age, subject to the household income not exceeding 200,000 rupees a month. The financial assistance is granted to patients based on the recommendation of a medical board whose mandate is to assess the condition of the patient and to submit a report to determine if treatment is available in our public health institutions locally or whether same warrants treatment in private health institutions locally or abroad, the urgency of treatment required, and whether the patient will benefit from the treatment. Prior to sending patients abroad, my ministry seeks treatment plans and quotation from all hospitals with which we have memorandum of understanding in India. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, I am informed that there are private organizations that provide assistance to Mauritian patients who may not be eligible for financial assistance, that is in cases where the household income exceeds 200,000 rupees monthly, or the treatment may be available locally or may not be beneficial to the patient. I am also informed that these organizations also send Mauritian patients for treatment abroad, although that the medical boards have not recommended such treatments due to their medical conditions, particularly their fitness for travel abroad. With regard to organizations collecting funds on behalf of patients, I am informed that such collection is governed by Public Collections Act, and as such all applications for public collections must be made to the Commissioner of Police. There are a number of organizations which are exempt from the provisions of the Act. However, institutions sending patients abroad are not exempted. I am further informed that before granting permission for collection of funds, the Commissioner of Police seeks the views of my ministry. My ministry informed the Commissioner of Police as to whether any financial assistance has been granted or otherwise. I am also informed by Commissioner of Police that applications to raise funds for patients requiring treatment are entertained only by individuals and not by corporate bodies. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, as a minister, I have personally received several complaints about some associations which sent patients abroad for treatment, and I cannot ignore these complaints. Some of these complaints relate to terminally ill cancer patients being sent abroad with little realistic prospect of benefit, only for their families to be confronted with astronomical and unsustainable costs. Patients spending their final days in foreign countries, away from their loved ones, and in distressing circumstances where families must struggle both financially and administratively to repatriate the deceased. Undisclosed commission being received by these organizations from foreign hospitals in addition to the fees charged locally. Allegations of collusion with certain specialists leading to patients being misled regarding treatment options and being sent abroad. A total lack of transparency in pricing, referral pathways and outcomes, and instances of illegal public collection of funds exploiting vulnerability and goodwill of the population. My ministry is taking action to refer these complaints to appropriate competent authorities for necessary action. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, these are not isolated anecdotes. They point to a systemic weaknesses and potential abusers in a sector that directly affects the lives and dignity of our citizens. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, I must state with a sense of responsibility and urgency that at present these organizations operate in a completely regulatory vacuum. It is regrettably yet another area which has been left unregulated for years, a veritable jungle as a consequence of the lack of foresight and policy direction of the previous administration. Their approach, Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, was to encourage the development of a lucrative private health facilitation ecosystem, often at the expense of strengthening our public health services and without putting in place the necessary safeguards to protect patients. As matters stand today, my ministry has no statutory oversight over the operations of these organizations. They do not fall within the existing legal definition of regulated health institutions. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, it is precisely for these reasons that urgent action is required. I wish to inform the House that my ministry will approach the Attorney General's office and all relevant ministries with a view to bringing forward appropriate legislative amendments to regulate these activities. In particular, it is being considered that the appropriate Private Health Institutions Act must be amended so as to bring these organizations within a formal regulatory framework, and there will be discussions for these provisions to be introduced to the forthcoming Finance Bill 2026, given the urgency and the financial implications involved. Failing that, a standalone amendment will be introduced without delay. This reform is not merely administrative. It is about protecting vulnerable patients, restoring trust, and ensuring that no Mauritian is exploited at a time of illness and distress. The situation as it stands is untenable. We cannot allow a system to persist where life and death decisions are influenced in an opaque, unregulated, and potentially exploitative environment. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, with regard to late EGN, also known as Rasnati baby, aged 72 years, I'm informed that he was admitted at Dr. A.G. G2 Hospital on 23rd March 2026 with a serious medical condition along with comorbidities. The late patient was admitted in the medical intensive care unit and was managed by a multidisciplinary team of 5 specialists. He was kept under close observation and appropriate treatment was administered. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, during his admission at Dr. G2 Hospital, a number of visitors, including junior ministers, Honorable Fabrice Gils-David, Honorable Véronique Diegovin, Honorable Marie-Annabelle Angelana Sabapati visited him. In addition, I also contacted him to inquire about his health status. The Regional Health Director was also constantly overseeing the treatment provided to the patient. Due to the seriousness of his condition in the medical ICU, the treating doctors recommended to refer the case abroad after he is completely stabilized. I would like to inform the House that even the Prime Minister inquired from me about the health status of late Rasnati baby. The Prime Minister also spoke to the patient on phone to reassure him of all assistance that government will provide to him. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, I am also informed that on or about 6 April 2026, several members of a private organization visited the patient in MICU at Dr. G2 Hospital during visiting hours. On 8 April 2026, while patient was still in ICU, awaiting medical fitness for air travel, when unexpectedly one of his close relatives signed a discharge against medical advice, that is DAMA. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, I am also informed that the Overseas Medical Care Assistance, OMCA, made arrangement for the transfer of the patient to Park Hospital, Haryana, India, where he was admitted on 9 April 2026. The patient was certified fit to travel by a medical practitioner from OMCA and was transferred without any accompanying relative, because in such cases, in extreme cases, they are bound to be accompanied by one of their relatives. But here, there were no relative who accompanied the patient. The close relatives have complained that they were not made aware of the treatment given to late Rasnati baby, nor were their consent sought for any surgical intervention. Unfortunately, late Rasnati baby passed away on 26 April 2026. On 27 April 2026, my ministry received a request from our High Commission in New Delhi for a no objection certificate to facilitate the repatriation of the mortal remains. The said certificate was issued by my ministry on 28 April 2026 to Eli and Sons Funeral Services without delay. I was also made aware that UMCA had launched a public collection through social media to meet the cost of repatriation amounting to some 200,000 rupees. On the other hand, the family members of late Rasnati Baby contacted a member of parliament on our side to seek financial assistance from government regarding the repatriation. On 27th April 2026, around 4 p.m., one member of parliament, Honorable Junior Minister Ye Govind, who was in close contact with the relatives of late Rasnati Baby, informed that the relatives were seeking financial help from government for repatriation of his remains. On the same day, the government agreed to take charge of all their expenses. On 28th April 2026, around 12:45 hours, I received a note from the parliamentary member that UMCA expressed its inability to pay the hospital fees, being given that only 100,000 rupees was collected for his treatment. That's according to UMCA. At around 1 p.m., government acting in good faith agreed to pay for the total hospital and repatriation fees in respect of late Rasnati Baby. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, it is also noted that the estimated cost of medical treatment claimed by Park Hospital amounted to some 1,120,000, while additional amount of 80,000 rupees was quoted by Arham Ambulance Services for repatriation of the body to Mauritius. On 20th April 2026, our High Commission in New Delhi was informed that all costs relating to the repatriation will be met by my ministry. It is also to be highlighted that Mission had already instructed this bank to make necessary arrangements to effect the relevant payment to Park Hospital. It is only at this stage, when this information was already made public, that UMCA informed Park Hospital that since it had sent the patient for treatment, it would take charge of all expenses, including the repatriation of the corpse. However, on 29th April 2026, our mission in New Delhi informed my ministry that Park Hospital would hand over the corpse to UMCA Foundation, which admitted late Rasnati Baby, and that arrangement for repatriation would be coordinated by UMCA accordingly. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, following subsequent communication from the hospital, our mission instructed the bank to withhold the payment pending further clarification. The bank is taking necessary steps to ensure that the transaction is reversed and that the funds are restored to the mission's account.
Honorable Hamdas first, then I'll come to you.
Thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker. I understand from the Honourable Minister's reply that due consideration will now be given to the introduction of a legal framework to regulate the activities of these organizations. However, in view of the number of complaints received, as stated by the Honourable Minister himself, if there has been any malpractices, and it would appear that there has been, would the Honourable Minister consider the possibility of having the matter referred to the investigative authorities, such as the FCC or the police, in order for the proper investigation to be carried out and for action to be taken, if any?
Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, in the beginning, we are having rumors everywhere. People were murmuring against that institution, but no one had the guts and the courage to come forward. I was also informed that there were few cases, this is what information I have, were reported to the FCC, but no action up till now has been taken. But after the death of our late baby, after his death, then I have seen there have been many complaints coming up, and even people have started writing letters. And I can tell you that, well, I can't pass judgment on those allegations which are being made, but definitely I can assure the honourable member, all these letters will be submitted to the authorities concerned. And I can assure the House, no stone will be left unturned in order to see to it that such type of practices do not occur in our country. I get the impression that you are having a parallel Ministry of Health in office in our own country. So this has to be discouraged, and that is the reason why we have to legislate against them.
Honorable Ramdas.
One last question. Thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker. Insofar as patient, the late Rasnati Baby is concerned, I understand that as per the reply of the Honourable Minister, that the patient proceeded overseas unaccompanied by any relatives. So in that case, could the Honourable Minister enlighten the House as to who signed the consent form in order for the additional treatment to be administered to the patient?
Well, I'm informed that, in fact, the consent from Mauritius, that Dama was signed by his son. But in India, who signed the consent form, we have got no information about it. That is not known, but the parents have complained The relatives have complained that they were not even made aware of what type of operations were being undertaken, what type of treatment was being meted to that patient.
Honorable. Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir. Can the Honourable Minister refer the following matter to the Medical Council, given the fact that 5 specialists from the Ministry of Health did not give the authorization for the patient to fly to India for overseas treatment, and another doctor who is employed by the OMCA Foundation gave the authorization to go abroad for medical treatment. Can this matter be referred to the Medical Council?
I'll certainly do it.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. May I ask the Honourable Minister, considering the increasing number of unfounded, unrealistic, unproven medical treatment being proposed to innocent victims by many of these organizations, will your ministry undertake in the short term to have a one-stop shop to advise people as to what sort of treatment are really feasible and what are those that they are being taken on a ride just for the purpose of people making money? Thank you.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, the honourable member being himself an excellent doctor, top-ranking doctor of the country, knows that, of course, I'm not blowing his trumpet, but this is a fact. So he knows very well that when somebody, let us say, have got 4th-stage cancer, normally our government, our authority not allow him to travel. But in this here we find that dozens of such cases where all of us know what will be the end result. But unfortunately, they exploit the weakness of these people who really want to, save themselves, their lives. So such people fall a prey to such organizations. And I can assure the honourable member that we are going to issue communique, also official communique, till such time that the law is amended to warn the public not to fall into the trap of such organizations. And these organizations, I get the feeling, are mushrooming now in our country. Instead of one, there were 2, now there is 3 or 4.
You have answered the question. Next, one last question on this topic by Honourable Prayad. Sorry. No. I'm out. Prayad, Honourable Prayad.
Thank you.
Thank
you, Deputy Speaker, sir.
What's your chance?
Would the Honourable Minister consider to, on an urgent basis, to change modalities for visitors to go to the hospital and to visit patients, especially those admitted in the ICU, or to make it formal so that all visitors make sure they give their names so that people know who are visiting ICUs, and especially not immediate relatives? Thank you.
Visiting hours, it becomes a bit difficult to know who is coming, whether he is really a doctor or he's a wolf in the ship's closing for such people to come. But I would try to assure the House that we are going to keep a register,
Try to neglect
particularly
the name of the
ICU.
wolf. The Honourable First Member for Wooding.
Thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir. Question B 580, please.
Thank you very much, Honourable Member. Mr. Deputy Speaker, first and foremost, I wish to pay tribute to those Mauritians who spared no effort and acted promptly on the forefront to mitigate the negative ecological impact following the grounding of MV Vaccination on the 25th July 2020 and the resulting tragic oil spill. In August 2020, Japan dispatched experts under the Japan Disaster Relief Framework. Recovery efforts were undertaken swiftly. Thereafter, a 2-month survey highlighted the urgent need to clean and restore the impacted coastal ecosystem, strengthen inshore fisheries resource management, and improve the livelihood of our fishers and local communities. In January 2021, Mr. Deputy Speaker, Mauritius formally requested Japan's assistance for a project aimed at improving the livelihood of coastal communities through the sustainable development of the blue economy. The project implemented by the Japan International Cooperation Agency was launched in May 2022 and completed in April 2026, and it delivered on 4 major outcomes. First, practical options to improve livelihood were introduced. An intensive seafood processing training program was implemented to ensure a major shift from traditional fishing models to the diversification of the skills of fishers and their families. Fishers received training in fish freshness control after catches and the onward filleting, salting, vacuum packing, and overall quality management. A fully equipped mobile kitchen trailer was also donated to fishers, allowing the marinating of fish or squids and making fries for on sale of high-end fish products. The fishers participated in the regatta in Trudodus and Mayberg. The trailer and other equipment have been handed over to the ministry and is under the responsibility of the Fisheries Protection Service. The Mauritius Fishermen Cooperative Federation will coordinate with the Fisheries Protection Service for daily operation and management, booking and scheduling, cleaning, supervision, and reporting to the ministry. 81 fishers participated in the seafood processing training, and in this context, a certificate award ceremony was held on the 27th April 2026 to mark the successful completion of the training. Second, diversification of fishery resources was pursued. Being given the vulnerability of the lagoon, training in offshore fishing techniques was imparted to 47 fishers of the region using the newly provided vessel to the ministry to tap into deep-sea species such as the diamondback squid. Kitchen gardens and seaweed-based composting was also introduced in Bambu Vieilleux. Sea urchins fattening and seagrass paper production was also undertaken. Third, fishery resource management in the lagoon was strengthened. The project prioritized community-specific strategies for ongoing projection of video at fisheries posts, reaching 894 registered fishers with 29,800 cumulative views. Sensitization ecosystem approach to fisheries sustainability, coupled with intense awareness campaign on associated legal framework, was also carried out. Fourth, the comprehensive livelihood improvement plans were drafted for key regions to ensure that the unique cultural and geographic strength of each village was utilized. Now, these included 1, fish processing, sea urchin fattening, kitchen gardens, composting, seagrass paper production, and integration of fisheries with tourism, ensuring women's participation and community-level value addition as follows. A catch less, earn more approach has been developed for Mayberg region through the fish processing and distribution, sea urchin fattening, and collaboration with others. B, for Bambu Vieilleux kitchen garden, seaweed-based compost and fish processing and distribution have been recommended. In the case of Gondovia Southeast, it has been proposed to transform fisheries from a secondary activity to a primary activity through fish processing and distribution, sea urchin fattening, kitchen garden, and seagrass paper. And D, value addition fisheries, integration of fisheries and tourism, catch and cook experiences, and women-led processing activities have been recommended for Trudodus. Mr. Deputy Speaker, in future, JICA is expected to scale up the successful pilot projects being carried out. Opportunities also exist for the ministry to submit further proposals to JICA for funding and assistance. JICA, along with local communities in Vieux-Grand-Port, are working together to establish a model eco-village. This project includes the greening of the village, sensitization on marine environment, promoting handicraft, and establishing mangrove and kayak trails. Mr. Deputy Speaker, as regard Part B of the question, the fishers and coastal communities targeted in the short, medium, and long term are those in Mayberg, Bomovillo, Granville Southeast, and Trou-de-Douce. 81 fishers and their families have been successfully trained under this project. This batch includes 26 fishers from Mayberg and same number from Bomovillo, along with 20 fishers from Granville Southeast and 9 from Trou-de-Douce. 47 fishers have also been trained in off-lagoon fishing, aiming tuna and squids.
Okay. The second honorable second member for Boulay-Sabon.
Je vous remercie, Monsieur le Vice-président. B581.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, it is clear that the current traffic situation in Catobon is inextricably linked to the light rail system, which operates at grade, therefore meaning ground level, with the local traffic. We must candidly acknowledge that the impact of this corridor on the town's traditional traffic flow is now irreversible. At this stage, our focus must be on the strategic implementation of palliative measures designed to mitigate these disruptions and restore fluidity to the region. Deputy Speaker, sir, the public will vividly recall the intense debate that surfaced during the construction of the light rail system in Catobon. There was a profound sense of apprehension among residents and business operators alike, who feared that an at-ground level configuration would fundamentally disrupt their daily lives. These concerns were not unfounded. Indeed, myself, as an elected member of opposition, on 24 September 2019, I stood up in this very House and addressed 3 consecutive parliamentary questions to the then Minister, Mr. Nando Buddha. My first PQ on that day, PQ B886, specifically challenged the positioning of the truck along Saint-Jean Road. I had, with unfortunate accuracy, foreseen the traffic segregation and the adverse socio-economic impacts we are forced to navigate. The warnings were clear then, but they were ignored. Deputy Speaker, sir, I must underline that Catobon was historically the most modern of our towns, bearing the hallmark of superior urban planning and a pleasant living environment. Was the construction of the light rail line a result of total lack of foresight regarding traffic repercussions, or was it an inconsiderate attempt to demonstrate, for political mileage, that the project could be completed at lower cost? Most of the railway runs from Cupid to Port Louis, Deputy Speaker, sir, on ex-railway tracks. One would therefore think that the more logical alignment for the light rail in the region of Catobon was to follow the old railway line stretching from Avenue Sodnak to the Market Fair to connect to Promenade Roller Armour. However, because that region is a densely built-up area, an alternative alignment running partially parallel to the M1 at Trianon and cutting into Saint-Jean was chosen. Deputy Speaker, sir, I am informed by the TRMSU of my ministry that despite micro-level traffic analysis undertaken at various junctions to optimize operational performance, severe traffic congestion and delays persist along key sections of Saint-Jean and adjoining streets. Several recurrent traffic congestion locations have been identified within the town of Catobon, particularly during hours, notably along Saint-Jean Road from La Louise to Trianon, Hillcrest Road to West Motorway M1, and the transit signal priority system junction of Victoria Avenue and Sir Guy Forget and Belrose Avenue, and also Rémy Ollier Avenue and Pasteur Avenue and Iche Avenue, as well as the town centre of Catobon, including the market area and surrounding school zones, where high pedestrian and vehicular traffic are observed. Deputy Speaker, sir, we are maximizing the utility of existing infrastructure for public safety. In the event of a major accident, The light rail track at Saint-Jean has been designed to serve as an emergency corridor for first responders. This was put to test in the evening of 10th December 2025, 5 months ago, when Metro Express Limited successfully conducted its first ever emergency situation at the request of the honorable elected members of constituency number 19. Some of them are 18. Honorable Anquetil, Honorable Boulet, and yourself, Deputy Speaker, sir. 18, so sorry about that. I purposely made that mistake so that I know whether you are following or not. Deputy Speaker, sir, in relation to the request to elaborate a master plan, I am informed that the Road Development Authority, in its capacity as the Highway Authority, has worked on a draft strategic road master plan, which is being discussed at different levels, and is pursuing a series of infrastructure interventions aimed at improving traffic flow and regional connectivity within and around Catterbourne. Accordingly, the Saint-Jean A1 constitutes the principal arterial corridor within Catterbourne, accommodating significant traffic for regional connectivity. The RDA has also implemented the construction of the Hillcrest interchange, together with the dualing of Hillcrest Road, which has upgraded the existing road infrastructure, increased network capacity, enhanced connectivity, and provided alternative routes for road users. Deputy Speaker, sir, I wish to further highlight that these measures taken by the RDA to address the following traffic burden are as follows in bullet points. Number one, upgrading the A-bend flyover. Number two, a dedicated slip lane which streamlines the transition towards the M3, successfully diverting a significant volume of traffic that previously saturated the Saint-Jean interchange. Number three, Pellegrin-Trianon Link Road, currently at the implementation stage to enhance regional connectivity. Number four, strategic pipeline projects, and here I have in mind a new link road connecting the M1 at Hillcrest to the M3 at Trianon, and the congestion strategy in terms of infrastructural bypasses, specifically engineered to draw traffic away from Catterbourne town centre. I can assure the honourable member that TRMSU will continue following up with the TRMSU and will intervene as and when required. Deputy Speaker, sir, we must acknowledge that any improvement to the two-lane section of Saint-Jean Road will be marginal unless we reduce overall traffic volume. Okay. To this end, I am pleased to announce that the park and ride at Catterbourne, which can accommodate 45 cars, is almost ready. This facility will be commissioned very shortly, potentially by the end of June, providing a secure space for commuters to leave their cars and board the trams. By encouraging this modal shift and implementing the proposed engineering solutions, we aim to restore at least some of the mobility that the people of Catterbourne so rightly deserve. Thank you.
Yes, one was yes.
Je vous remercie, Monsieur le Vice-président. Je remercie le ministre pour sa réponse. Le ministre peut-il expliquer à la Chambre pourquoi les rails du métro express ont été implantés en plein centre de Catterbourne, provoquant une congestion chronique et pénalisant lourdement la circulation des habitants de Catterbourne, alors que des aménagements moins contraignants ont été retenus à Queue-Pipe, à Vacquois et à Port-Louis. Merci.
Well, I do believe for two reasons. They did not follow the original alignment of the X-railway track because the region is already heavily built up. There would have been huge impact on demolition costs. This is what I think. And also, instead of upgrade, they could have done a better solution. They could have gone for a better solution. But then, like I explained in my substantive reply, I think they had to cut costs in order to be politically correct.
Last one.
Last one. J'ai beaucoup, mais bon. Alors, Monsieur le Vice-président, alors que le métro est censé contribuer à la décongestion routière, le ministre peut-il indiquer à la Chambre quelles sont les solutions immédiates qui sont prévus pour les automobilistes alors qu'une série de carrefours sur la route principale de Saint-Jean impose des détours lourds et excessifs aux habitants, une véritable punition imposée par nul autre que l'ancien gouvernement MSM avec la complicité de l'ex-PPS et de l'ancien ministre au numéro 18. Merci.
Deputy Speaker, sir, I have listed a series of mitigating measures that the RDA, together with my ministry, are envisaging. But then the modal shift, like that I explained earlier, people favoring leaving their cars at the park and ride and using the trams would greatly facilitate, especially at peak hours. So I rely on the honourable member to canvass.
The Honourable First Member for Piton-Rivière-du-Rapport.
B 582.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, constituency number 7, Piton and Rivière-du-Rapport, falls under the District Council of Rivière-du-Rapport and the District Council of Pamplemousses. A full assessment of the lighting at all football grounds and mini soccer pitches has already been completed. In total, there are 12 football grounds and 7 mini soccer pitches. 9 of the football grounds are already in good condition, with lighting system fully operational. In some cases, new floodlights have already been installed, such as 4 at Boclima in Lamourie and 16 at Pointe Lascaux, and these are now fully functional. However, 3 football grounds required major upgrading of the lighting system, namely Beau Plateau at Cottage, l'Espérance Piton near NSDC, and Rohit Boulaki Stadium in Rivière-du-Rapport. These are not minor repairs, but need full reinstatement works. The scope has already been defined, cost estimates have been worked out, and the projects have been prioritized. Given that current budgetary allocations are already committed to ongoing and priority works, this project will be taken up in the next financial year, subject to availability of funds. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, as regard to Minnesota pitch, 5 are already in good condition and fully operational. This includes the SILWF pitch at Lamourie, inaugurated on 25 April 2026, as well as Gandhi Square, Mont-Saint-Mont NSDC, and Village Hall Yard at Poteau. At La Clémence, only minor maintenance works are required and are currently being attended to. At Pierrefonds, Penny-Papaye, the installation of floodlights and electrical components has already been completed, and the remaining step is the final connection by the Central Electricity Board, which is expected to be completed by this month. Following the site visit carried out on 21st January 2026 at Penny-Papaye, additional upgrading works were proposed for the mini soccer pitch and open gym at an estimated cost of 1.5 million rupees, and priority components, namely floodlights and electrical works amounting to 80,000 rupees, have already been approved and implemented. The remaining items, including synthetic grass, conditioning and related works, are currently under review to ensure that costs are reasonable before any further commitment of public funds. At Villebag, both the Village Hall futsal pitch and Petit GD football ground are operational. Further upgrading works, including relocation of poles and installation of 600-watt floodlights, are already scheduled alongside ongoing development works, with completion expected by July 2026. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, all sites have been properly assessed and categorized. Urgent and minor works are being addressed, while major projects are being implemented in a phased manner in line with budgetary priorities. This approach ensures that public funds are used responsibly while delivering safe, durable, and modern sports facilities. Mr. Speaker, sir, Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, I am tabling the full list of all football grounds and mini soccer pitch together with their respective status and planned intervention.
Yes.
Thank you, Honorable Minister, for your reply. Meanwhile, awaiting the reparation of these lights, can we consider to install street lights, lanterns, like we have on the street in these 3 places where people going to do jogging during the early mornings when it's still dark can have light facilities meanwhile? Thank you.
Yes, Mr. Deputy Speaker, so I'll take note of the request for the lighting facilities. I will request the District Council to take necessary action upon availability of the street lights.
The Honourable First Member for Savannah and Black River.
B583, please.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, at the very outset, I wish to point out the following. First, based on available data, the 2 places referred to in the question, namely Morcellement Black Rock and Morcellement Belugué, do not fall in flood-prone areas and are neither found in no-go zones nor in no expansion zone. Second, Morcellement Black Rock and Morcellement Belugué are not located along the classified road, Black River Road A3, and therefore do not fall under the jurisdiction of the Road Development Authority, which is responsible for the care and maintenance of classified roads, specifically main roads and motorways, including the maintenance, upgrading and construction of new drains along those roads. And third, Morcellement Belugué is a private property as informed by the District Council of Black River. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, with regard to part A of the question, I am informed by the Land Drainage Authority that there are no ongoing projects being implemented by the RDA in the region. However, the RDA has, based on the recommendation of the LDA, planned to undertake the reconstruction of the following 2 culverts at La Golette. First, culvert near La Golette Community Center. A works order to the tune of 11,221,000 rupees and 360.89 cents, inclusive of VAT, has been issued on 8 April 2026. And second, culvert at La Golette near the State Secondary School. Funds have been requested for implementation of the project in financial year 2026-2027. I am also informed by the Black River District Council that it has 1 drain project in the region of Black Rock, Tamarin, near Oxenham. With regard to the construction of 2 cut-off drains, this project is still at design stage. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, as regard part B of the question, I am informed by the Black River District Council that the services of a consultant will be sought to conduct a survey and assess the existing drains in the whole area in a holistic manner to propose flood mitigating measures prior to seeking approval of the LDA and financial clearance for implementing the project. I am further informed by the LDA and the Black River District Council that the latter carries out regular cleaning and desilting of drains to ensure free flow of water. The cleaning and desilting of the natural drain at Morcellement Black Rock, Tamarin, was undertaken last year. Regular cleaning is done as and when required.
Okay. The Honourable Third Member for Porkish North and Port Island.
Thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir. B584.
First and foremost, Deputy Speaker, sir, I thank the honourable member for his question. Deputy Speaker, sir, the transition towards a paperless public service constitutes a central pillar of this government's broader digital transformation initiatives aimed at agenda. My ministry has been spearheading a range of strategic initiatives aimed at reducing reliance on paper-based processes, enhancing operational efficiency, and improving the overall responsiveness of service delivery across ministries and departments. This transition is being pursued through the progressive digitalization of administrative processes, the development of integrated information systems, and the re-engineering of workflows with a view of embedding more agile, efficient, and sustainable practices across the public service. Deputy Speaker, sir, I wish to inform the House of key initiatives which have been implemented by my ministry or which are currently underway. The electronic human resource system is fully operational. It serves as a centralized digital repository for the personnel and employment records of over 57,000 public officers, and enables officers to apply for various types of leave online. The system also comprises an e-movement module, which allows officers to record the official movements electronically. My ministry has also implemented the electronic attendance system, and this has eliminated the need for attendance registers through the use of electronic time recorders, and a centralized attendance management platform. Deputy Speaker, sir, a major milestone in the digital transformation journey is the implementation of the electronic document management system, the ADMS. Introduced with the support of the United Nations Development Programme and funded from the government of Japan, the system is operational. It enables the full life cycle management of documents in electronic form, from creation and processing to storage, retrieval, and archiving. The project shall be scaled up at the level of our ministry and also rolled out across the public service. Deputy Speaker, sir, furthermore, my ministry has initiated the development of an electronic scheme of service system, which will transform what has traditionally been a manual and paper-intensive process into a fully digital workflow. Following a successful pilot phase, the contract for the implementation of the system was awarded in November 2025. Once operational, it will enable electronic drafting, consultation, approval, and storage of schemes of service while facilitating real-time collaboration among key stakeholders. In parallel, my ministry is currently undertaking the review and digitalization of the performance management system, in line with the recommendations of the 2026 Pew Research Bureau report. This reform will transition performance appraisal processes to an integrated digital platform, enable real-time monitoring, online submission of reports, and data-driven decision-making. Deputy Speaker, sir, these initiatives are being complemented by the Public Service Reform Scheme, which provides a structured framework to modernize administrative processes and promote a more efficient, responsive, and citizen-centric public service. A key component of the scheme is business process re-engineering, which focuses on redesigning workflows through the use of digital technologies to eliminate redundancies and reduce duplication. In addition, capacity building programs are being implemented to equip public officers with the necessary digital competencies to operate effectively. And I wish to inform the House, Deputy Speaker, sir, we have worked closely with the Minister of Information Communication Technology to bring in syllabuses, to bring in elements in our syllabus for training and capacity building so that our public officers are well equipped. Deputy Speaker, sir, dedicated support is being provided under the scheme of the Reforms and Innovation Units as well, which was under the budget of 2025-2026, established across ministries and departments. These units serve as key drivers of change at the operational level and are responsible for identifying, developing, and implementing reform initiatives particularly those aimed at reducing reliance on paper-based processes and accelerating the adoption of digital solutions. Deputy Speaker, sir, I'm also informed by the Ministry of Environment, Solid Waste and Management and Climate Change that under the Greening of the Public Sector Initiative and pursuant to the Digital Transformation Blueprint 2025-2029, several ICT initiatives are being undertaken by public organizations and institutions to achieve the ecological transition of Mauritius to a cleaner and greener Mauritius. Deputy Speaker, sir, these measures are being implemented in a phased and coordinated manner and are already contributing to a tangible reduction in the use of hard copy documents across the public service. Thank you.
The Honourable Second Member for Savannah Black River.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, please, B585.
I thank the Honourable Member for putting the question. Mr. Deputy Speaker, with regard to part A of the question, I'm informed that the hog plum beetle was first detected in March 2025 in the region of Boka and since then has spread to several other regions across the island. It should be noted that the pest has been found to feed only on the leaves of Fruit de Serre, leading to significant defoliation of affected trees. It is suspected that the hog plum beetle has entered the country through illegal importation of infested Fruit de Serre plants. I'm further informed by the Entomology Division of the Ministry and Food and Agricultural Research Extension Service that as at April, the 30th April 2026, a total of 765 complaints have been registered in relation to the invasion of the hog plum beetle, out of which 18 cases of mainly grown-up trees have been attended and treated with neem-based insecticide, which is considered to be safe. For the remaining complaints, advice was tendered by officers of FARE and during site visits to growers by my ministry since its detection. Mr. Deputy Speaker, furthermore, approximately 8 media interventions, including television and radio programs, as well as the publication of articles in the local press, have been carried out to inform the public about the pests and recommended control measures, which include the application of insecticides such as neem-based products. With regard to part B of the question, actions have been initiated with the help of foreign institutions, including the Centre de coopération internationale en recherche agronomique pour le développement, CIRAD, and the Center for Agricultural and Bioscience International, otherwise known as CABI. CABI, which has responded positively, is working closely with officers of the ministry to identify and introduce potential biological control for the management of the hog plum beetle. Once the most promising agent is identified, further studies will be conducted to determine its host range prior to any introduction in Mauritius. Now, this process is expected to be completed before the end of this year. I have also been informed that this pest has recently been detected in Philippines, and an integrated pest management program, including use of predators and application of biopesticides, have been used. My ministry is working in close collaboration with custom authorities as border entry points to reinforce and enhance control measures to effectively prevent the illegal introduction of such pests into the country.
The Honourable Third Member for Grenadier.
Thank you. B586, please.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir,
I'm informed that since November 2024 to date, my ministry, through the medical board, has examined 27,308 cases of invalid basic pension applications, out of which 17,181 have been allowed, which represents 63% allowed out of the total examined cases, and 10,127 have been disallowed, which represents 37% disallowed out of the total examined cases. The reasons for applications being rejected by the medical board are that they do not meet the criteria set out in the present medical guidelines, and those vary from case to case. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, with regard to medical appeal tribunal, which also falls under the medical unit of my ministry, at present, a person whose case has been disallowed by the medical board has the right to make an appeal to the medical appeal tribunal. The medical appeal tribunal is chaired by a representative of the Attorney General's office and comprises 2 members, namely 2 specialists in relevant fields. I'm informed that since November 2024 to March 2026, 7,631 cases have been assessed by the medical appeal tribunal, out of which 2,923 were allowed, which represents 38.3% cases which are examined by the medical appeal tribunal. I also wish to add that previously, waiting time to determine an appeal was approximately 3 to 5 months. Currently, I am informed that waiting time from the moment of application to appearing before the medical tribunal is around 1 to 2 months. Though lots remain to be done, I must say that there has been a slight improvement during the period queried by the Honourable Member. The reform on disability pension will further improve and remedy the waiting time, thus reducing the burden of our citizens. Let me once more inform the House that this government is not insensitive to the complaints of applicants of invalid basic pension. As part of the reform of disability pension, my ministry has drafted and updated medical guidelines as part 1 of phase 1 of the reform, in consultation with medical practitioners and specialists serving the medical board and medical appeal tribunal, which has been sent to the Ministry of Health and Wellness for validation. The phase 1 of the reform, through the updated medical guidelines, will introduce functional criteria for a more fair and efficient determination of disability limitations of the different pathologies, as well as introduce new inclusive living allowances for those having a disability estimated in between 40% to 59%. I'm happy to announce in this Assembly that the Ministry of Health has just provided its views and comments regarding the new medical guidelines, and same is being looked at the level of my ministry. I wish to thank the Honourable Minister and the Ministry of Health for their rigorous work. After the finalization of the medical guidelines, the new medical guidelines, we will go to the Ministry of Finance for financial clearance and change the law for implementation. I can reassure the Honourable Member that measures taken up to now and measures being envisaged in the near future will enhance the efficiency and fairness of the determination process, thus at the same time putting human dignity and care at the centre of my ministry's service. Thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir.
Yes, Honorable Doyle.
Could the Honourable Minister specify the main medical conditions or categories leading to rejection?
I don't have the specific information, but the criteria are determined by the medical guidelines and the regulation in the National Pension Act. That is, the degree of disability needs to be upper, 60% or upper.
You have another one? Yes?
And could the Honourable Minister state whether the composition of the medical board is considered adequate in terms of specialist diversity?
The medical board is composed of the doctors employed by the Ministry of Social Security, whereas the Medical Appeal Tribunal, there are 2 specialists.
The Honourable Second Member for Gambé and Toledo.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker, sir. B587.
Monsieur le Vice-président, la CWA m'informe que les travaux de remplacement de tuyaux ont été entrepris dans la circonscription numéro 6 à Grand-B et à Poutre-d'Or pour un total de 21,2 km à partir de 2023. Des projets de production ont été réalisés dans le cadre des programmes de PME, petites et moyennes entreprises, et des grands contrats dans des régions telles que Fond-du-Sac, Grand-Gob, Petit-Raffré, Goodlands, Lower Vale, Poutre-d'Or et Grand-B. Pour les contrats majeurs, les travaux de remise en état ont été achevés à Fond-du-Sac, Grand-Gob et Rocheterre. En ce qui concerne les contrats pour les PME, Monsieur le Vice-président, tous les travaux de remise en état ont été achevés en février 2026, cette année-ci, dans le cadre d'un contrat distinct attribué à Bimanic Stone Crusher Limited en octobre de 2025. Pour la mise en place des nouvelles conduites d'alimentation et la réparation des fuites, les entrepreneurs sont tenus de terminer la remise en état de la route dans un délai, des nouveaux contrats, dans un délai de 3 jours. Cependant, Monsieur le Vice-président, dans certaines régions, il est vrai de le dire, la remise en service n'a pas encore pu être effectuée en raison des facteurs que des conditions météorologiques défavorables ou la nécessité d'interventions techniques supplémentaires. Donc, pour les tuyaux qu'on a fini de mettre, il faudra les éprouver, des épreuves à faire pour vérifier s'il n'y a pas de fuite. Donc, on parle ici de la région de Goodlands, de Rocheterre, de Grand-Gob, de Sottise, de Pérébert et de Fond-du-Sac. Ces travaux de remise en état des routes en attente concernent des surfaces de 11 à 36 mètres carrés dans différents villages et devraient être achevés d'ici fin mai 2026.
Yes,
Thank you, Deputy Speaker, sir. Will the Honourable Minister inform the House what accountability mechanisms are in place to ensure that contractors under CWA adhere to deadlines?
Je dois dire que effectivement dans le temps, les travaux, vous savez, le pipe replacement programme de 700 millions de roupies par l'ancienne direction, et c'est vrai que les contracteurs, il y avait beaucoup de connivence, il faut bien le dire. Hein. Et à un moment donné, ils ont même licencié la responsable de l'audit et fermé l'audit. Pour vous dire, la dame, oui, on avait posé une question, je me rappelle, l'honorable Boulel était leader de l'opposition, la dame était Madame Djumka, hein, et elle a dû partir parce qu'on a fermé l'audit. Donc, pour vous dire, Monsieur le Vice-président, c'est que nous avons revu complètement. Dans le nouveau programme de Pipe Replacement Programme, déjà, nous avons un accord avec le gouvernement indien pour 1,2 milliard de roupies pour changer les tuyaux des Pipe Replacement Programme dans 14 régions, qui va commencer dès que nous avons l'accord du gouvernement indien. Nous avons revu le mécanisme en ce qui concerne l'accountability, et je dois dire que dorénavant, les ingénieurs, les officiers de la CWA, ceux qui préparent les tenders ne seront plus autorisés à signer pour l'autorisation, pour le paiement. Une chose. Deuxième chose, c'est qu'ils ne seront plus autorisés à avoir du subcontracting. Cela a été fait dans le passé. Vous savez, ils ont split des contrats de 700 millions de roupies en des petits contrats pour pouvoir évaluer. Donc, le subcontracting, ce sera effectivement, et en ce qui concerne les paiements dorénavant, ce sera le dernier authorization sera au niveau de mon ministère pour le paiement. Vous savez, dans le temps, la direction de la CWA ne répondait même pas au ministère, ne répondait même pas au ministre, à l'ancien ministre. Donc, pour vous dire, donc il répondait directement, si vous voulez, à la cuisine, oui, mais pas au ministère. Donc, et quatrièmement, ceux qui préparent les tenders au sein de la CWA ne seront plus autorisés à signer les paiements. Donc, il y a eu cette connivence dans le temps. Et pour dire aussi que nous avons revu complètement le mécanisme au niveau de la CWA, au niveau de l'audit de la CWA et aussi au niveau du ministère.
Yes, Honorable.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker, sir. May I ask the Honourable Minister whether penalties on contractors are applied or will be applied in cases of unjustified delays? Because there has been such a situation where works have not yet been completed for more than 3 months at Shivaji Lane, Grand Bay. Can you please inform the House? Thank you.
Et je vais certainement voir la région dont l'honorable membre cite ici à l'Assemblée. Mais c'est sûr que les pénalités doivent être appliquées as per the contract. Hein? Mais vous savez, quand nous avons pris les dossiers au sein de la CWA, c'est que les contracteurs qui étaient là, déjà, la plupart des contracteurs ont dû répondre à la Financial Crime Commission. Et là, la Financial Crime Commission nous ont dit qu'ils ont des enquêtes d'arrêter de payer et les enquêtes sont en cours. Nous, à ce moment-là, on s'est retrouvés avec des travaux, avec quelques endroits, et ils ont fouillé, il n'y avait pas de tuyaux. Certains endroits, ils ont mis des tuyaux qui n'étaient pas connectés. D'autres endroits, ils ont mis des tuyaux qui ont été connectés, mais ils n'ont pas refait l'asphalte. Donc, on s'est retrouvés un peu partout à l'île Maurice, dans des endroits, chez mon ami l'honorable Bagwan à Coromandel. Donc, on s'est retrouvés avec des contracteurs, des dizaines de contracteurs qui ont encaissé des millions et des millions de roupies dans le temps, mais qui n'ont pas terminé le travail. Nous avons eu pas mal de problèmes avec le ministère des Infrastructures en ce qui concerne des chemins qui ne sont pas cotarés. Donc, nous avons dû, à ce moment-là, attendre que la Financial Crime Commission termine les enquêtes pour pouvoir continuer à payer les contracteurs, une chose, pour qu'ils puissent continuer à faire le travail. Deuxième chose, nous avons aussi dû demander au ministère des Finances des fonds supplémentaires parce que les 700 millions de roupies, c'est complètement évaporé et le travail n'a pas été fait. Nous avons pas mal, je reçois chaque semaine pas mal de complaintes de mes collègues ici, mais on se retrouve impuissant, une chose de par la Financial Crime Commission, et deuxièmement au niveau des fonds au ministère des Finances. Donc, pour remettre en état à neuf les chemins, il faudra peut-être demander autour, j'ai fait un calcul au sein de la CWA, demander peut-être 300 millions, 350 millions à la ministère des Finances pour pouvoir remettre à neuf, alors que dans le contrat initial, c'était prévu dans les 700 millions, la poche des tuyaux, fouiller la poche des tuyaux et asphaltage. Alors que vous avez remarqué, les tuyaux sont posés un peu partout sur le chemin, à l'Henri-Vianois, Ficanflac ou à Montchoisy. Mais dans le projet, c'était, vous voyez, donc c'est... Et monsieur le vice-président, et ça me passionne.
You have answered the question.
Merci, monsieur le vice-président. Question 588, s'il vous plaît.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, I wish to inform the House that newborn baby KS were admitted in the neonatal intensive care unit in an ICU on 16 February 2026 following an emergency cesarean section at Jawaharlal Nehru Hospital. The baby was subsequently transferred to Special Care Baby Unit, SAC 2, on 27 February 2026. I'm informed that on 18th of March 2026, the baby was transferred from Special Care Baby Unit 2 to Special Care Baby Unit 1, Ward 1.5 Nursery. On 14th April 2026, the baby being stabilized was able to feed normally and was discharged by the pediatrician. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, I am further informed that that an official complaint was received by the Regional Health Director of Jawaharlal Nehru Hospital on 12 March 2026. According to the complainant, that the father of the newborn KS, few ants were noticed on the side of the incubator and one ant was crawling directly on the newborn babe. Following the complaint dated 12 March 2026, an internal inquiry was carried out and the nursing staff informed that the incubator is daily cleansed and at no moment ants were found in any incubator. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, on 18 April 2026, another complaint was received from the father of the newborn KS regarding the previous observation of ants in ICU as well as expired medication provided to the newborn babe. According to the complainant, at the time of discharge, that is on 14 April 2026, a colic drops was provided by the hospital staff with expiry date 11 April 2026. The complainant therefore requested that a full and independent investigation be carried out in the matter. At the time of discharge, the patient was already in possession of the colic H drop used earlier in the NICU, and as such, a new one was not dispensed. An investigation is being carried out as to why the expired colic aid was not retained by the staff and the same drug prescribed expiring in July 2026 was not handed over by the relatives. Following receipt of the complaint, the matter was referred to the Infection Prevention Control Coordinator. On 30th April 2026, the IPC coordinator contacted the IPC registered medical officer as well as acting ward manager of NICU at Jawaharlal Nehru Hospital. According to the NICU staff, no ant or insect were observed in the incubators. As regards the complaint pertaining to expired colic drops, I am informed that the neonatal ICU had intended colic drops on 15th of March 2026 for baby KS for a treatment duration of 1 week, and that one flask of colic drops was accordingly dispensed to the ward. Expiry date of this batch was 11th April 2026. Subsequently, a new batch of colic drops with an expiry date of 7 July 2026 was used in the SCBU. I am informed that no issue was raised at the level of NICU at Jawaharlal Nehru Hospital in relation to hygiene conditions within the unit during a period under reference. It is also to be noted that strict observance of infection prevention and control protocols is permanently enforced in the NICU department. In addition, no case of multi-drug resistant organisms were reported during the months of February, March, and April 2026. The NICU performance score under the MO Bianet application stands at 88%, which is a good score. I am further informed that a system of regular monitoring of expiry dates is in place within the pharmacy to ensure that no expired medication is dispensed to patients. As an additional measure to further strengthen oversight, instructions have been issued for pharmacists to carry out regular inspections of hospital wards to verify the absence of expired medication. It is, however, to be emphasized that the primary responsibility for ensuring that no expired drugs are kept in ward stock rests with the charge nurse or ward manager. My ministry will ensure that established clinical and pharmaceutical protocols are duly observed in the management of this case, both in respect of infection prevention and control, as well as medication dispensing, and will continue to reinforce monitoring mechanisms to ensure sustained compliance with best practice standards.
Yes, Honourable Members.
Speaker, of course, I welcome the investigation announced by the Honourable Minister. As the Honourable Minister stated himself, in fact, there were two incidents, further to which an official complaint was addressed to the Regional Health Director, who also tried, by the responsible party, who also tried to meet the Regional Health Director. Is the Honourable Minister aware that up to this day, not a single response, not a single reply has been addressed to the responsible party of this newborn baby by the hospital staff, or at least the Regional Health Director?
Well, I was informed about the attitude of the director, and I have received complaints also. I can assure the honourable member that I am looking into this case seriously.
The Honourable Second Member for Savan, Black River.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, please, B590.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, at the outset, let me make it clear that application for building and land use permits, commonly known as BLUPs, are processed under the Local Government Act 2011, through the NELS, that is, National E-Licensing System. Under the present system, certain clearance from public utilities, namely the CB, CWA, and WMA, are already integrated in NELS and are subject to prescribed timeframes. Where an application is complete and only such clearances are required, the matter may be determined within the statutory period. However, Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, many BLUP's applications are not so straightforward. Depending on the nature, scale, and location of the proposed development, the local authority may have to seek the views or clearances of other competent authorities, such as the Road Development Authority, the Land Drainage Authority, the Traffic Management and Road Safety Unit, and the Forestry Service, the Ministry of Environment, Solid Waste Management and Climate Change, the Ministry of Health, or the Ministry of Agro-Industry, among others. These clearances are not mere formalities. They are required to ensure that the proposed development complies with road safety, drainage, flood mitigation, environmental, health, infrastructure, and planning requirements before a permit is issued. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, the difficulty is that several of these authorities are not yet fully integrated into the NELS platform, and in many cases, they operate under their own procedures, technical standards, and timelines. In practice, their views may be received at different stages. When those views contain conditions or require changes, the applicant must then be informed and requested to submit revised plans, additional documents, technical reports, or other particulars. Therefore, to the first part of the question, the answer is yes, Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir. Even after an applicant has obtained certain initial clearances, additional amendments may still be required by the local authority, where such amendments are necessary to ensure full compliance with the requirements imposed by the competent authority and with the law. This is not done to create unnecessary obstacle. It is done to avoid unsafe, non-compliant, or legally defective approvals. For example, the ODA or the Traffic Management Road Safety Unit may require changes relating to access, visibility, or traffic flow. The LDA may require flood mitigation measures or upgrading of existing drainage system. The environment authorities may impose conditions to protect sensitive areas. The Council must ensure that these requirements are properly reflected to the final approved plans before issuing any permits. With regard to the second part of the question, Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, I fully understand the concern about delays and repeated amendments. It is true that applicants need a system which is faster, clearer, and even more predictable. However, limiting amendments to one single instant in all cases would not always be practical or safe. Technical issues may appear only after a revised plan are examined, or after another authority has submitted its views. A rigid time of amendment rule could result either in premature rejection of the application or, worse, in the approval of projects which do not properly meet safety, drainage, or environmental or planning standards. That said, Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, government is fully conscious that the present system must be improved. My ministry is therefore examining measures to make the BLUP process more efficient and more transparent. These include the integration of all major clearance authorities into NELS, the introduction of clearer statutory response timelines for relevant authorities, better inter-agency coordination, real-time tracking of referral and responses, and where possible, the issuing of one consolidated list of amendments to applicants to reduce unnecessary back and forth. Such reform may require administrative changes. Service level arrangement between authorities and due consideration is therefore being given by my ministry to prescribe all other relevant authorities those views and clearances are required, but who are not presently registered on the NELS. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, our objective is clear. To make the BLUP process faster, more business-friendly, and more legally certain, while ensuring that we do not compromise on safety, proper planning, infrastructure, drainage, or environmental protection in the public interest. Thank you.
Yes,
Mr. Speaker, sir, is the Minister aware that more amendments after all the clearance of all ministries, then again promoter has to pay more for the designer, which is unfair?
What is your question?
My question is whether the amendment will carry to remove this bad space. After
So you want the minister to review this
the amendments, yes,
okay.
Because after
Honorable Minister,
nails, which is unfair, to pay more, promoter to pay more.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, we will look into the matter because if the member has any particular case in mind, he can come up and we can see to it. And we will come with these regulations as soon as possible. We're working on it.
yes. The Honorable First Member for Warwick, the Minister of Foreign Affairs will answer this question.
B591, please.
Thank you, Mr. the Deputy Speaker, sir. First and foremost, allow me to inform the House that Mauritius acceded to the Harare Protocol on Patents, Utility Models and Industrial Designs on the 27th of May 2025. And our membership to this protocol, administered by the African Regional Intellectual Property Organization, in short form ARIPO, became effective on the 27th of August 2025. Henceforth, whenever applications are filed by foreign applicants at ARIPO for the protection of patents, utility models, and industrial designs, and where Mauritius is designated in such applications, the Industrial Property Office of Mauritius is notified of same through the Member States module, a tool designed by ARIPO and the installation of which was effected by the ARIPO experts during their mission in Mauritius in April 2026. The MS module is an online notification and document exchange platform between ARIPO and its member states. The notifications are done through the Industrial Property Automation System, a software owned by the World Intellectual Property Organization, in short form WIPO, and already deployed and being used by the IP Office since 2013. The successful installation of the member state module required the involvement and contribution of WIPO and ARIPO experts, the Government Online Center, as well as officers of the IT unit of my ministry. The objectives of the ARIPO online services are to, firstly, enhance the efficiency and flexibility of business processing and other administrative work at the ARIPO office, member states IPOs, intellectual property agents, and the public at large. Secondly, facilitate the accessibility and use of intellectual property information in the region and in Africa at large. And thirdly, strengthen ICT institutional capacity in the ARIPO region and beyond. Mr. the Deputy Speaker, sir, let me add that the implementation and use of this member state module is still at an early stage, and I understand that a virtual meeting will be held in the near future, engaging all the aforementioned stakeholders to test the practicability and effectiveness of this tool, address any challenges, and thereafter enable the IP office to notify ARIPO of the outcome of applications in which Mauritius has been designated. Having said so, Mr. the Deputy Speaker, sir, allow me to also inform the House that my ministry is seeking the assistance and guidance of ARIPO to domesticate the provisions of the Harare Protocol. This will entail the amendment of the existing legal framework on industrial property to ensure the proper implementation of the provisions relating to the Harare Protocol. Mr. the Deputy Speaker, sir, with regards to Part A of the question, that is the number of applications received, according to the quarterly reports received from ARIPO for the periods 1st of October 2025 to 31st of December 2025 and 1st of January 2026 to 31st of March 2026, Mauritius has been designated in 6 patent applications, which are still under process, 14 industrial design applications, 5 of which have been registered, and 1 utility model application, which is still under process. With regard to part B of the question, I wish to inform the House that ARIPO, in collaboration with my ministry, organized an online sensitization workshop at Coda Arts Center on the 21st of April 2026. The objective of the workshop was to enhance the uptake of the e-filing services offered by ARIPO with a view to facilitating online filing of IP titles, payment of fees, and online tracking applications. This workshop targeted IP agents and attorneys and other potential users of the ARIPO system. The ARIPO mission conducted capacity building sessions for the benefit of the technical staff of the IP office on the deployment and use of the member state module on the second day of the mission, and had a working session with some IP agents on the third day of the mission. Thank you.
The Honourable Third Member for Port Resource, Mount Island.
B592. Thank you.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, I'm informed that the International Vaccination Center has been designated to provide specialized vaccination services in line with international requirements, including the administration of vaccines such as yellow fever, meningitis, other cell vaccines, tetanus, diphtheria, ascellular pertussis, typhoid vaccines, COVID-19 vaccines for travelers to Hajj, hepatitis A vaccines, pre-travel prophylaxis tablets for malaria, and the issuance of internationally recognized vaccination certificates. These vaccines are inoculated by the public health nursing cadre. In response to Honourable Member, I wish to state the following. Firstly, in respect of the current service model, the IVC operates as a centralized service to ensure compliance with international standards for vaccine storage, handling and certification. Availability of trained personnel authorized to administer specific travel vaccines and issue internationally recognized certificates, and adequate monitoring of adverse events following vaccination. Secondly, government policy to ensure that all services provided under international health organizations remain safe, standardized, and internationally compliant. The current centralized model of the IVC has been effective in maintaining these standards. While decentralization improves geographical access, it must be clinically justified and economically viable. Unlike routine immunization services, travel-related vaccines are low in volume and irregular in demand, especially with multi-dose vials. There is high risk of wastage if turnout is low. Involve high-cost vaccines with short shelf life. There is cold chain requirements such as yellow fever vaccine, which requires strict temperature control 2 to 8 degrees centigrade. Requires strict certification protocols under international regulations. There is human resource limitation, that is need for specifically trained staff, for example, public health, nursing officers and community physicians, and will necessitate additional infrastructure. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, in this context, indiscriminate decentralization would result in underutilization of resources and potential wastage, similar to challenges already observed in certain decentralized specialized services. As such, the International Vaccination Center will remain the designated authority for specialized vaccines and certification. The priority of government is not decentralization, but rather providing efficient, safe, and internationally compliant service delivery. The current approach ensures optimal use of public resources while progressively improving accessibility where justified.
The Honourable First Member for Montagne Blanche, Van Rivière House.
Thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir. B593.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, I am informed by the NLTA that Bel Air and Trou de Douce are situated approximately 4 kilometers apart, and that there is presently no direct bus service operating along the corridor. I am further informed that connectivity between the two localities is currently ensured by the traveling in two legs, that is from Bel Air to Bramston and from Bramston to Trou de Douce along routes 16 or 18 and along route 55, respectively, with services operating at an average frequency of 30 minutes on each leg. Deputy Speaker, sir, with regard to part A of the question, I am informed by the NLTA that the introduction of a new dedicated bus route is not being envisaged at this stage in view of the relatively low direct passenger demand between these two localities. I'm made to understand that the predominant travel pattern of residents from both Bel Air and Trou-de-Douce is oriented towards Flac, Central Flac, that means, which remains the main economic and service hub of the region. Deputy Speaker, sir, as regard part B of the question, the extension of Route 55 is not being considered due to the relatively low passenger demand considerations. The NLTA is currently examining service optimization measures, including the possible extension of existing Route 56, Grand Rivière South-East to Flac, operated by the NTC to serve Trou-de-Douce via La Lucie-Roy. This proposal will provide direct connectivity while ensuring more efficient utilization of available resources. Implementation of this proposal will, however, be the subject of consultations with the NTC and a road test to ascertain operational feasibility, including the availability of a suitable turning radius. Deputy Speaker, sir, as regard part C of the question, I am informed that there are currently 56 licensed taxis operating from Trou-de-Douce and 76 from Bel Air. The present level of taxi services is considered more than adequate by the NLTA to meet existing demand for taxi services based on population density. Some of these taxis operate as taxi train to provide direct services between Bel Air and Trou-de-Douce and complement for the present lack of buses on the basis of separate fares as provided under the law, that is Section 14034 of the Road Traffic Act. Consequently, the issue of additional bus service taxi licenses is not being envisaged. Deputy Speaker, sir, I wish to remind the honourable member that a meeting was held with the Honourable Ramtoal and Honourable Somtali on 26 January 2026, that is some 4 months ago, following their request in my office. The Honourable Babulal was not able to attend because he was travelling to Rodrigues, and that at a material time. During the meeting, the transport challenges faced by the residents of Trou-de-Douce and Bel Air, amongst others, were discussed. Following those discussions, the NLTA has been actively exploring various avenues to enhance bus service delivery in the regions. Our commitment to the inhabitants is evidenced by the proposed extension of Route 56, like I explained earlier, to serve Trou-de-Douce. I am told that the NLTA is in discussions with the NTC for that purpose, and a road test will be held soon. Deputy Speaker, sir, I can reassure the honourable member that my ministry, together with the NLTA, will continue to maintain close monitoring of transport needs across all regions. Should there be any significant evolution in demand patterns, appropriate adjustments will be considered in consultation with stakeholders to ensure that public transport provision remains responsive, efficient and sustainable.
No? Okay. The Honourable Second Member for Flac Bulakai.
Thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker. B594, s'il vous plaît.
Yes, before you answer, Honourable Prayag, you have a question after that. If you, after B595, you have to resume your seat. Yes, Minister.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, I am informed by the FSC that 4 complaints have been received in respect of Mrs. R.A. and 1 complaint in respect of Mr. A.M. 2 of the complaints relating to Mrs. R.A. were by way of anonymous letters, 1 received at the FSC in September 2022, and 1 forwarded by the Financial Crimes Commission in July 2024. The remaining 2 complaints were from staff and were received in September 2024 and November 2025 respectively. As regards the 1 complaint relating to Mr. A.M., it was received in December 2025 and was from a staff member of the FSC. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, as regards part A of the question, the complaints made against Mrs. R.A. in the anonymous letter received in 2022, related to allegations of collusion between the director and the managing director of a management company. As per the findings of the inquiry, the collusion referred to in the complaint letter was not established. However, it was concluded that supervision was negligent in addressing the complaints that were received against the MC and its officers. Written explanations were sought from the concerned officers, including Mrs. R.A. However, the board had requested that the matter be put on hold. In July 2024, the Financial Crimes Commission, FCC, informed the FSC of an email from an anonymous source alleging collusion between a licensee and Mrs. R.A. The Enforcement Directorate of the FSC could not pursue the matter further, as the FCC did not have any additional information as required by the FSC to initiate an investigation. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, as regards the 3 complaints from staff of the FSC against Mrs. R.A. and Mr. A.M., the status is as follows. One of the complaints against Mrs. R.A. is expected to be resolved with the organizational review that the FSC is currently undertaking, and as regards the 2 other complaints, the respective internal inquiries initiated by the FSC are still ongoing. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, as regards part B of the question, the total costs involved are, firstly, for the inquiry carried out regarding the anonymous letter received in respect of Mrs. R.A. in 2022, the FSC retained the services of an external law firm at the total cost of 402,500 rupees. As regards the complaint from the staff against Mrs. R.A. received in November 2025, the FSC has retained the services of an external legal counsel at the cost of 115,000 rupees plus VAT. And as regards the complaint from the staff of the FSC against Mr. A.M., the FSC has enlisted the services of an external legal counsel to carry out a full investigation at the cost of 125,000 rupees plus VAT. Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Bishop.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker. May I know from the Honorable Minister how many times Mrs. R.A. had been suspended and reintegrated to her post?
From what I understand, she was recruited in March 2019. I don't have information regarding her suspension. During the investigation in December 2022, I believe she was asked to be out of office, not to be present on the premises during the investigation. But I understand that notice was not served, but instead she was on sick leave and then on annual leave. But I don't have any information regarding its suspension from the FSC.
Yes.
Does the Honorable Minister have the information to please inform the House why was Mr. A.M. promoted to the post of Head of Supervision Directorate despite having no experience in global business, funds, and capital markets?
Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, I understand. So the structure of that department, which is the directorate called Supervision, it had a director, and then it has five departments. And Mr. A.M. was heading one of those departments. As per the procedures and the policies in place at the FSC, he was the highest in the grade to, when there was a reorganization, the director of that supervision was moved to another department, and Mr. A.M. was the most senior in terms of grade and that's why he was given it was not a promotion, it was a temporary measure of assigning of additional responsibilities to oversee the supervision department.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you. Could the Minister please advise that since, as regards to Mrs. R.A., since it was found that supervision was superficial, did that committee find out who was responsible for such superficiality, and what actions have been taken to prevent future occurrences?
So that happened in 2022. So the collusion itself was not established, but they found that there may have been weaknesses in the procedures and the way the complaint was handled. The charges were prepared, but I understand that the board at that time was told to put everything on hold. But I must say, Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, that there's a new board in place at the FSC, there's a new director in place, and there are major restructuring going on. They have recruited an external professional consultant who is doing a restructuring exercise that we completed by June, and the whole organization of FSC is being re-looked into because there's been quite a lot of mismanagement and issues at the FSC, as many of my colleagues are aware here, and there's so many questions that have been put on FSC operations.
Last one, Mr.
Question, Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir. As the former head of insurance, the insurance department, is the minister, Honorable Minister, aware what was the involvement of Mr. A.M. in the Afri Life Insurance Limited, owned by one, Mr. Pratik Gupta, who is the ultimate beneficiary owner of the Silver Bank?
Question is not part of the main question, so I can find out and I can investigate.
Okay. The Honourable First Member for Pito Rivière-du-Rapport.
Thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker. B595.
Last question.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, with your permission, I shall reply to this parliamentary question. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, the Road Development Authority is responsible for the construction, care, maintenance and improvement of main roads and motorways, while the Traffic Management and Road Safety Unit, which operates under the purview of the Ministry of Land Transport, is responsible for the traffic management and congestion alleviation. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, the construction of the Terre Rouge Verdun Trianon Link Road, now known as Motorway M3, was completed in December 2013 and was implemented following a feasibility study having as main objectives to reduce congestion on motorways M1 and M2 and improve travel time and connectivity between the north and the center of the island. The project also contributes to boost economic development, enhance road network resilience by providing an alternate route and creating new development opportunities. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, I'm informed by the TMSU that prior to the construction and opening of the motorway M3, the main route for vehicles traveling between the southern and northern parts of the island was through Port Louis via motorways M1 and M2. A study carried out by the TMSU in 2011 indicated that through traffic accounted for approximately 30% of total traffic converging daily towards Port Louis, thereby contributing significantly to congestion along these corridors. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, I'm also informed by the TRMSU that no specific post-implementation study has been carried out in the subsequent years following the commissioning of the project to assess its effectiveness. However, once it opened to traffic, the motorway M3 provided an alternative route for through traffic, thereby reducing dependence on Port Louis as a transit point. Observations at the time indicated an immediate improvement in traffic flow along motorways M1, M2. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, as the House is aware, over the past decade, Mauritius has experienced a significant increase in the number of registered vehicles, rising from 486,144 in 2015 to 746,961 in 2025, representing an increase of approximately 53%. This has resulted in increased traffic volumes across the road network and has contributed to worsening congestion along motorways M1 and M2 towards Port Louis. According to traffic counts carried out in 2025 by the TMSU, approximately 4,300 vehicles per hour travel towards Port Louis from the south via motorway M1 during peak hours, while approximately 3,600 vehicles travel from the north via motorway M2 per hour. The most recent traffic count along the motorway M3 was carried out in 2018 by the TMSU. Adjusting for the increase in traffic over the years, it is estimated that approximately 3,100 vehicles travel towards Eben from the north at the Côte d'Or roundabout during peak hours, 7:45 a.m. to 9:30 a.m., while approximately 2,500 vehicles travel in the opposite direction. In the absence of the M3, this traffic would otherwise have passed through Port Louis via motorways M1 and M2, further aggravating congestion on these corridors. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, in addition to the construction of motorway M3 as an alternate route with a view to addressing congestion, the RDA has completed several projects along motorways M1 and M2 to further improve the level of service of its road network. Grade separated junctions and flyovers have been implemented at Koda, Kédé, Terre Rouge, and Lavizy. A third lane has also been added on motorway M1 between Terre Rouge and Rochebois. Further traffic modeling exercises are being carried out at Mapu and La Bourdonnais-Ranoroute for future interventions. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, the RDA further intends to facilitate access to motorway M3 through the construction of slip lanes at Côte d'Or and Ripaille roundabouts. These slip lanes will allow road users to gain access to the motorway in less time and contribute to an overall improvement in the traffic fluidity along the corridor and connecting roads. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, moreover, government intends to proceed with the implementation of the Ring Road Phase 2 project, which is expected to significantly alleviate traffic congestion in and around Port Louis and act as an alternate route for road users who do not need to pass through the city centre. This new strategically will help redistribute traffic currently using the M1 motorway and key junctions within Port Louis, thereby reducing pressure on heavily congested corridors during peak hours. It will also improve connectivity between existing roads and hence the overall resilience and efficiency of the national road network. Besides, government will implement a flyover project at Kanfouko to render the traffic more fluid. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, in the meantime, I'm requesting the RDA to carry out a joint survey with the police and the TMSU, including a fresh traffic count to determine immediate measures to alleviate the traffic situation along motorway M3.
Time is over. The honourable members, the table has been advised that the following PQs have been withdrawn. B625, B607, B627, B609, B624, B628, B626, B613, B597, B619, B616, B6112, B611, B599, B617, B602, B618, B623, B608, B606, B610, B614, B622, B598, B596.
Motion.
Yes, Honorable Mohammed.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, I move that all business on today's order paper be exempted from the provisions of paragraph 2 of Standing Order 10.
Seconded. Yes. The question is that all the business on today's order paper be exempted from the provisions of paragraph 2 of Standing Order 10. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it.
Statement by Ministers, non-public bill, second reading.
Honorable Minister for Treasury, Education, Science and Research, Dr. Shukla.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, I rise in full support of this bill. I must say many of us from both sides of this House must have met young people, parents, mothers and fathers in tears. Why? Because their son or daughter could not secure a job because of the certificate morality. Very often we are asked the question, the government is giving free education up to the university level, is giving free transport, is providing textbook at freely for many grades. Then why the law itself is closing the doors? Why this document, certificat de moralité, is not allowing our son, our daughter to secure that job? What we want as parents, we would like them to have a decent life, and the decent life depends on the decent job. The question put to us, why are you allowing to shatter the dream of not only the young person, but also the entire family? Pourquoi ce document administratif est en train de condamner l'avenir de ce jeune, même avant qu'il soit écrit? Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, we cannot tell someone, study hard, work hard, train hard, dream big, and then allow the law to keep opportunities out of reach. We cannot say, build your future, but we will continue to judge you by your past. Contrairement à l'ancien régime, qui n'a pas jugé bon de revoir ce dispositif, nous ne restons pas les bras croisés. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, that's why today I want to speak beyond this chamber. I want to speak to every student. I want to speak to every parent. I want to speak to every mother and father who want one thing above all else for the child, a fair chance in life. I want to tell them that this bill is not only about certificate. It is about justice. It is about fairness. It is about opportunity. It is about hope, and above all, about second chances. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, the current Act does one thing good. It protects the public. But it does one thing in a very undesirable way. It traps too many people in the past for too long. This bill changes that by raising the fine threshold and reducing the waiting period for several offences. Thus, it ensures that the minor offences do not continue to haunt the individuals for long. This is a major reform. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, it rests on a simple idea. Law must make the difference between danger and reform. It must distinguish between serious crime and lesser offending. It must distinguish between someone who remains a risk and someone who has changed. This is not softness, this is fairness, this is proportion, and this is wisdom. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, now let me say something very clearly to the country. The bill is not soft on crime. Serious offences will still remain on the certificate. Grave wrongdoing remain visible because the public must be protected. So this bill does not weaken protection. It keeps protection strong. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, I'm really impressed by the balance in this bill. It is firm where firmness is required. It is fair where fairness is required. It is protective of society, but not blind to rehabilitation. It is serious about crime, but also serious about human dignity. That's why I would like to thank the Honourable Prime Minister and the Honourable Attorney General for this bill. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, this bill says something very clearly. The person who made a lesser mistake, paid the price, rebuilt their life, and respects the law, then the state should not continue punishing them forever. That matters in real life. It matters to the young person trying to get a first job. It matters to the parent who wants to see a child stand tall again. It matters to the family who wants to move from worry to stability. And that is why, as the Minister of Tertiary Education, Science and Research, I feel strongly about this bill. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, I want to speak directly now to every young person who may have stumbled, learned, matured, and changed. Your life is not over. Your future matters. And to every parent, your child must not be defined by one bad moment. It is a fact that parents believe children can grow. Parents believe children can learn. They can correct themselves. They can come back stronger. This bill honors that belief. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, for several young persons, the road from education to employment can sometimes be hard because it depends on internship, apprenticeship, placement, first job, technical training, and research opportunities. One old and lesser offense can shut all those doors completely at once. This bill helps them open again. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, we cannot tell a young person, improve yourself, but we will never recognize that improvement. That would be unjust. That would be short-sighted. And it would waste precious national talent. Mauritius cannot afford to waste talent. Not the talent of our students, not the talent of our graduates, not the talent of young people who are ready to work, who are ready to contribute, and ready to move forward. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, this bill also introduces an important principle of fairness in employment, where a conviction is not related to the job. It cannot be used to discriminate the applicant. That is a very important message to employers and to the public. Because the right question is not that, has this person ever been convicted? The right question is that conviction relevant to that job? This is fairness, this is common sense, and this is justice with intelligence. The bill says something better. It says to the graduate, do not give up. It says to the families, hope is still alive. And it says to the nation, we can protect the public without giving up on our people. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, a strong country is not one that punishes forever. A strong country is one that knows when punishment has done its work. A wise society is not one that confuses stigma and safety. A wise society is one that protects the public while still making room for redemption. That is what this bill does. It protects society, it restores proportion, it supports employment, it helps students and young people move forward, and it gives parents something precious: reassurance. Reassurance that the law can still be fair, reassurance that the future is still open, reassurance that one mistake does not have to be a life sentence of exclusion. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, let this message be heard clearly across the nation. To the students watching, your future is bigger than your minor mistake. To the parents listening, your child is worth believing in. To the families across this country, there can be a second chapter. And to the nation, justice must protect, but justice must also lift. This is a sound bill, a fair bill, a humane bill, and a necessary bill. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, I would like to reassure all those concerned. I recently met a father, a mother, and a son. The father is a fisherman, the mother is a housewife. They came to see me because what my colleague, Honorable Wittim, said, erreur de jeunesse, he couldn't secure a job. I told the parents, just wait, soon this nightmare will be over. So, Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, I wholeheartedly commend the certificate of character bill to this Honorable House. Thank you.
Thank you. I suspend the sitting for half an hour.